Chapter 11, Killing Intent. The girl pointed to a corner of the wooden house where straw was piled, revealing a damaged wall. If you can't do it, run. Faking it means death, she said, her voice less hoarse after speaking more. Thank you, I can handle it, Tang San whispered back. Ling Mushui looked up at him, meeting his calm gaze. Her small frame trembled, and she quickly lowered her head. Oh, she shifted, seemingly about to leave. I'm Tang San, what's your name? He asked softly. Besides Zhu Jiaxin, she was the first human he'd spoken to, and a fellow slave at that. Ling Mushui glanced at him again. His numerical name didn't surprise her. After hesitating, she whispered, I'm Ling Mushui. Her name stunned Tang San, it didn't sound like a slave's name. My mother was. Ling Mushui stammered. So, my mother and I are in the same village, our village. She taught me. Her limited expression was enough for Tang San to understand. Her mother had likely caught the eye of a wolf demon, granting her some privileges despite being a slave. She could live with her child and had taught her daughter, making Ling Mushui sharper and more knowledgeable than her peers, with a proper name. Tang San nodded, saying no more. Ling Mushui looked at him again, worry in her eyes. Are you sure you can do it? He nodded again. Okay. As others began glancing their way, Ling Mushui didn't dare say more. She nodded to Tang San, curled up, and moved to another corner. Perhaps due to this brief exchange, Tang San's mood lifted slightly. A stranger in a strange land, this warmth felt like a spark of hope. After all, it had been 8 years. 2 days passed quickly. The 10 survivors ate the best food they'd had in this world, their spirits noticeably better. The older youths, especially, were visibly eager. They knew this was their chance. Among the 10, Ling Mushui was the only girl. No one paid Tang San much attention. Everyone was focused on the bloodline awakening. Passing the test meant escaping slavery to become a wind wolf vassal, a true leap to the heavens for slaves. In this world, slaves were barely above food, treated worse than livestock. The wooden house's door finally opened amid much anticipation. Several robust wolf demons entered, barking orders for Tang San and the others to follow. Stepping outside, the sunlight was harsh but warmed their bodies. Ling Mushui stayed close to Tang San, her worried gaze landing on him again. Don't worry, he whispered. She paused, looking up at him. He nodded reassuringly. The wooden house they'd stayed in was in the town, but today they were taken to the central area of Wind Wolf Town, a place Tang San had never been. A square of nearly 1,000 square meters was surrounded by many Wind Wolf clan members. At its center stood an altar. Tang San's pupils contracted as he saw its base, made of mortar and gravel, embedded with human skulls. Human skulls. His fists clenched instinctively. Even in death, they were treated like this. A fire seemed to ignite within him. As a former god king, his mental resilience was unmatched, but at this moment, a desire to annihilate the monster and spirit tribes burned in his heart. His gaze grew cold, a faint killing intent stirring within. Ling Mushui, standing nearby, seemed to sense something, shivering and instinctively stepping back, widening the distance between them. Her reaction startled Tang San, but it sparked a realization, stirring memories of his past life. He vividly recalled walking a path in his previous life as a youth, a path of hell. Calming his emotions, he slightly closed his eyes, hiding that spark of insight. The monster tribe. Very well. Tang San and the other 9 were led to one side of the square, under a large tree where an elderly female wolf demon sat. This wolf demon, likely the high priest, had deep green eyes and held a staff, seated in a large chair. Beside her stood a human man in his 40s, thin but dressed in finer clothes. His eyes faintly glowed green, his back slightly hunched, exuding deference. The wolf demon who brought them bowed respectfully before her. Honored high priest, we brought all the slaves who awakened bloodlines this year. The high priest gave a faint acknowledgement, gesturing to the human man beside her. The man bowed respectfully before stepping forward to face Tang San and the others. Tang San had been quietly sensing the high priest's aura, powerful, beyond his current ability to gauge without using his divine consciousness. But his divine consciousness was too scarce to risk, unrecoverable in his current state unless absolutely necessary. Only when he grew stronger could it truly shine. As the human man was about to speak, the wolf demons parted, bowing as a massive wolf demon, over 3 meters tall, strode forward. This wolf demon was immensely robust, muscles brimming with explosive power, his deep green eyes radiating intense energy, though less profound than the high priest's. He approached the high priest, bowing slightly, hand to chest. High priest, a smile crossed the high priest's aged face. The Lord is here. Are you prepared for the ancestral sacrifice later? She remained seated, suggesting that in Wind Wolf Town, she held the highest status. The Wind Wolf Lord replied, everything is ready. The offerings are prepared. We'll trouble the high priest to preside. And we'll begin after these slaves' bloodlines are tested, the high priest said calmly. Start, the Wind Wolf Lord ordered the human man before Tang San and the others. Yes, Lord. The man bowed respectfully before turning back to the group. Listen carefully. I'll test your bloodline shortly. During the process, express any reactions fully. Don't suppress or fear them. Give your all, understood. Tang San looked up at him, catching a fleeting glimpse of sorrow in the hunched man's eyes. Chapter 12, the test. The next moment, the middle-aged man slowly spread his arms, looking skyward, and declared loudly, Great wind. Please bless your people and let them comprehend the true essence of the wind. As he chanted, his body began to swell. Grayish-green fur sprouted from his skin, instantly tearing his upper garments and revealing solid muscles. A dazzling cyan light burst forth from him. 4th tier, or 5th, that was Tang San's first impression. This man was the strongest human Tang San had seen in this world. The wind elements in the surrounding air grew noticeably denser, enveloping the 10 of them. The Wind Wolf Town Lord glanced at the high priest and said, Wang Yangfeng's control over wind elements has improved quite a bit. The high priest replied coolly, with his slave bloodline, his limit is the 4th tier. Humans do have some skill in control, though. He's just gotten better at it, but you, Lord, shouldn't waste time fooling around with those she-wolves. You should focus on cultivating and improving your strength. Otherwise, at the clan's grand ceremony in a couple of years, won't you be mocked again? The Wind Wolf Town Lord's expression stiffened. Understood. Bathed in the wind elements, a faint cyan glow swirled around Tang San and the others. Tang San narrowed his eyes, quietly sensing the wind elements. His wind blade seemed effective. He carefully channeled his wind wolf bloodline power, blending it with his own bloodline to alter his aura. He noticed that the dense wind elements were being absorbed by his altered bloodline, as if his wind blade energy was accumulating. With his intelligence and vast experience, he quickly realized something. His wind blade and leopard flash hadn't improved not only due to bloodline limitations but also because of the lack of dense, compatible elemental energy. Now, in this rich wind element environment, his wind blade was reacting. This meant that under the right conditions, his wind blade could grow stronger. Woo! At that moment, among the 10, the young man who had shown the most beastly transformation during awakening toward his clothes. First sprouted, his body swelled, and faint cyan light flickered in his eyes. Wang Yangfeng's eyes lit up with a wave of his hand, a whirlwind pulled the young man aside. He had passed the test. Tang San didn't rush to show himself. Such dense wind elements were rare in the natural world, and he knew he couldn't conjure them with his current cultivation. Why not absorb more while he could? It might help with his bottleneck. Surprisingly, the second to react was Ling Mushui beside him. She let out a soft cry, her body expanding slightly. Her changes were less pronounced than the young man's, only fur appeared on her neck, but the cyan glow in her eyes was noticeably brighter. The cyan light around her lifted her slightly off the ground. Wang Yangfeng waved again, guiding her aside with wind elements, commenting, though her bloodline isn't strong, she's more attuned to wind elements. 2 more teenagers, around 15 or 16, showed strong reactions next. Wang Yangfeng grew visibly anxious, intensifying the wind elements. Tang San noticed sweat beading on his forehead, maintaining such dense elements was taxing. Wang Yangfeng's effort was clearly aimed at getting more of them to pass the bloodline test. That's enough. Those who don't qualify, don't qualify. Don't delay the sacrificial ceremony, the Wind Wolf Town Lord said coldly. Wang Yangfeng pleaded, Lord, give me 1 more minute. I think there's still potential. Tang San knew he couldn't wait longer. Closing his eyes, he slowly raised his hands. When he opened them again, cyan light glowed in his eyes. The surrounding wind elements briefly surged toward him, then diminished. A 3-inch wind blade formed in his palms, lively and active. The next moment, as if out of control, it shot into the air with a whooshing sound. Wind blade awakening. Wang Yangfeng was startled but waved immediately, pulling Tang San out. The high priest, seated, frowned slightly and glanced at Tang San. At that moment, Wang Yangfeng ceased sustaining the wind elements, panting heavily, clearly near his limit. Minimal physical change, but high affinity with wind elements, awakening our wind wolf clan's innate skill, wind blade. The small transformation is likely due to his young age, similar to my own case, Wang Yangfeng said respectfully to the high priest while catching his breath. The high priest gave a faint nod, glanced at Tang San, then looked away. To her, a child was insignificant. Of the 10 who came for the test, 5 passed by showing reactions. The remaining 5 looked lost and panicked. The wind wolf town lord waved, and several robust wolf demons rushed forward, seizing the 5 who failed and dragging them aside. The high priest slowly rose, walking toward the altar, and said solemnly, "Let the sacrificial ceremony begin." Yes, the wind wolf town lord bowed respectfully, following her toward the altar. Wang Yangfeng stayed with the 5 who passed, his breathing steadier. He looked down at Tang San, who maintained a blank, dazed expression. After 3 lifetimes, his acting was flawless. The high priest ascended the altar, with the lord beside her. He let out a long howl skyward. As his howl echoed, all the wolf demons in the square joined in, their cries resounding through Wind Wolf Town, like a beast horde preparing to attack. The high priest raised her staff, and the howls gradually subsided. Despite her aged appearance, her deep green eyes gleamed coldly. Today is the day to honor our ancestors. Our wolf clan is a strong tribe among the holy clans. The great wolf ancestor granted us our bloodline, allowing us to thrive. Let us offer the freshest blood to honor the wolf ancestor, strengthening our wind wolf lineage. At that, she turned sharply, looking at the 5 human slaves below who hadn't passed. Tainted with our bloodline yet unable to awaken our power, your filthy blood seeks to overshadow our wind wolf aura. Only fresh blood can wash away this shame. Kill them. The wolf demons, as if prepared, acted the moment she spoke. They grabbed the shoulders of the 5 humans and crushed them, ending their lives instantly. The scene unfolded so abruptly that Tang San felt a surge of heat rush to his head, his body stiffening, fists clenched. At that moment, his vision darkened as a figure silently stepped in front of him, blocking his view. It was Wang Yangfeng. Chapter 13, Cruelty. Tang San clenched his lips tightly. In that moment, he felt an overwhelming urge to charge forward. Wang Yangfeng's intervention, stepping in front of him, gradually cooled his boiling blood. The Wind Wolf Town Lord was likely a 5th-tier powerhouse, and the High Priest possibly 6th tier. Rushing out now would be nothing short of suicide. Yet, even if these human slaves seemed soulless, they were his kin. To the wolf demons, killing humans was no different from slaughtering livestock. Humans were worth even less. Present the offerings. The High Priest's voice rang out again. Tang San shifted slightly, peering past Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng sensed it, turning to look at him with a slight frown. The other awakened children were trembling in fear. Tang San mimicked their frightened expressions. Seeing this, Wang Yangfeng relaxed slightly, pulling Tang San to stand behind him. Before moving back, Tang San saw naked human women being carried onto the altar, 10 in total. Undoubtedly, these were the offerings the High Priest meant. Tang San didn't need to fake his trembling. He had witnessed many human deaths in Wind Wolf Town, but such brutal slaughter was a first. Even in his past life, he rarely felt such rage. As a former god king, he controlled his emotions well, but now, how could he stay calm? Great ancestor, today, your descendants offer the freshest blood to honor you. May you forever protect us, strengthening our Wind Wolf lineage. Offer the blood. With the High Priest's shrill cry, the 10 women on the altar were killed instantly. Piercing wolf howls echoed through Wind Wolf Town. For them, the sacrificial ceremony was a moment of frenzied excitement. Dead, more dead. Tang San closed his eyes in pain. At that moment, his heart held no hesitation. He would change this world, transform everything. He would ensure humans were no longer livestock, awaken them, and overthrow the monster and spirit tribes' rule. In any world, the strong preyed on the weak. Only by making humans truly powerful could everything change. The ceremony continued for another half hour before nearing its end. Tang San kept his head down, body trembling, avoiding the altar. He stood silently behind Wang Yangfeng. Now, his resolve was unshakable. Beyond finding his wife, in this blue star world, on this fairy continent, he carried a heavy responsibility. As the ceremony ended, the wolf demons dispersed. Wang Yangfeng turned to Tang San, Ling Mushui, and the other 3. Follow me. The 5, trembling, followed him to a house on the west side of Wind Wolf Town. Unlike the crude village huts, this was a 2-story wood and stone building with a fenced yard of about 100 square meters. Wang Yangfeng opened the gate, leading them inside. The door opened, and a comely woman emerged. Seeing Wang Yangfeng, she hurried forward. It's over. Wang Yangfeng sighed. Yes. The woman lowered her head, eyes red. Just these 5 children this time. Yes, 5 didn't pass. She clearly knew what failing meant, bowing her head. Wang Yangfeng pulled her into a gentle embrace. Come inside, she said softly, her voice hoarse. Led by Wang Yangfeng and the woman, Tang San, Ling Mushui, and the others entered. The house was warm, with a fireplace radiating heat. The decor was simple but complete with tables, chairs, and benches. Rooms flanked both sides, and a staircase led upstairs. Feeling the warmth, the 4 others, though awkward, relaxed slightly compared to before. The woman poured hot water, handing cups to each. Holding the cup, Tang San felt a sense of humanity return. Ling Mushui couldn't hold back, crying softly. Wang Yangfeng sighed. You're lucky, but also unfortunate. Being chosen gives you a new life. Children, from today, I'm your teacher. You'll learn from me to gain the strength to protect yourselves. Only then can you truly survive. In 3 years, there'll be another test. You must defeat same-age wolf demons to earn vassal status. Otherwise, you saw what happened to those children today. He paused. I don't know if you understand me, but I'll teach you diligently. From today, you'll live here until you pass the test and become vassals, or in your own homes. Turning to the woman, he said, this is your teacher's wife, Chu Jing. We were once like you, going through today's ordeal. We survived by becoming vassals. For the next 3 years, you must strive for that qualification to escape slavery. Now, rest. Teacher's wife will take you to your rooms. Boys share rooms in pairs, the girl gets her own. Tomorrow, I'll begin teaching you. Wear these tags at all times. They mark you as not slaves when you go out. He handed each a wooden tag with carved patterns and an embedded bone, not a fang. Their rooms were on the first floor. Tang San was assigned to share with a boy slightly over 10. Chu Jing led them to their rooms, showing them a shared bathroom. She had them washed, then gave each a set of coarse linen clothes. Though rough, they were thick and warm. After cleaning, they ate together. The meal included boiled root vegetables with a pinch of salt and some cooked meat, a feast for slaves. Sipping the bland but fragrant meat broth, their moods eased. Tang San noticed Ling Mushui's red, swollen eyes and dazed look. She ate little. Wang Yangfeng asked their names. Besides Tang San and Ling Mushui, the other 3 had only simple codes, not names. Chapter 14, Sacrificial Offerings. The youth who first awakened and transformed was called Da Chang. Tang San's roommate was dubbed Xiao Mutu, and Da Chang's was Mao Tu. Wang Yangfeng gave them simple names, similar to Tang San's, Wang Da, Wang Er, and Wang San. He told them they could choose proper names once they officially became vassals. Only with a vassal tag would they avoid being treated as slaves and killed at will. After dinner, Wang Yangfeng sent them to their rooms to rest, as their training would begin tomorrow. Back in the room, the day's shocks and the warmth of this place led Wang Er to fall asleep quickly. Once he was asleep, Tang San quietly got out of bed. It was dark outside. He tiptoed through the hall to the door of a room on the other side of the first floor and knocked lightly. Ling Mushui was staying there, across the hall from the boys' rooms. The door opened, revealing Ling Mushui's face. Seeing Tang San, her swollen eyes welled up again. Tang San slipped inside and closed the door. What's wrong? He asked softly. He cared about this girl, the first to offer him warmth in this hellish world for humans. That warmth was precious. At his question, Ling Mushui burst into tears, sobbing, Mother, mother. Tang San froze, supporting her. A bad feeling hit him, like a lump in his throat, making it hard to breathe. What happened to your mother? He asked urgently. Ling Mushui was too overwhelmed to speak, sobbing uncontrollably. Tang San frowned, guiding her to sit on the bed. He placed his right hand on her back, gently channeling his mysterious heaven technique to stabilize her emotions. As his energy entered her, he sensed a faint cyan energy within her, seemingly drawn to his mysterious heaven energy. He quickly withdrew, not wanting to accidentally drain her wind wolf bloodline power. If it couldn't recover, he'd harm her, but that brief infusion of warmth calmed her slightly. Tearfully, she looked at Tang San. Mother, I saw her on that altar. Buzz. Tang San's mind went blank. The altar, her mother, the 10 women on that altar were likely the mothers of the 10 who inherited wind wolf bloodlines. If Ling Mushui's mother was there, so was the woman who brought Tang San into this world. Even if he only had a month with her, with barely any memory, she was the one who gave him life here. And because he chose to pose as a wind wolf bloodline awakener, his body trembled at the thought. He hadn't expected the wolf demons to be so cruel. The other 3 hadn't noticed, likely because, like him, they were separated from their mothers early and couldn't recognize them. But Ling Mushui, raised by her mother, had seen her. Terrified into silence, she preserved her life but couldn't contain her grief once she regained her senses. This world is just that cruel, a voice said as the door opened. Wang Yangfeng and Chu Jing entered. Chu Jing's eyes were also red. Tang San shot to his feet, his blood boiling, barely able to contain his emotions. Even if it meant using his scant divine consciousness, he wanted to destroy everything here. At that moment, Chu Jing stepped forward, pulling Ling Mushui into her arms, comforting her softly. Wang Yangfeng closed his eyes in pain. Every vassal of the monster tribe who survives has gone through this. It's their rule. Human women who bear children with monster bloodlines are seen as defiling the ancestors and are offered as sacrifices. You saw the human skulls under the altar. They're all from this. When I saw you too, I sensed you were different. You're both awakened in mind. Especially you, he looked at Tang San. You seem like the others, but when those children who came for the test were killed, your body tensed, not in fear, but as if ready to act. I was close, so I felt that if I'm not mistaken, your wind wolf transformation was awakened long ago. I don't know who taught you or how you gained wisdom, but in this world, survival is the only chance. Acting rashly brings death, not just for you, but for us and everything here. By monster tribe rules, if one vassal betrays, all vassals in the town are executed, even a child. The safest thing would be to turn you in now, let them interrogate how you awakened your mind. Both of you, understand. Tang San's anger cooled to ice as he met Wang Yangfeng's gaze. Are you going to turn us in? Wang Yangfeng felt a chill, unnerved by Tang San's stare despite his small, weak frame. He gave a bitter smile. If I meant to turn you in, would I have shielded you earlier? Child, do nothing. You can't see your mother's body. It's already been taken by the wolf demons. If you truly care, live well and grow strong. Tang San's icy gaze softened, his clenched fist slowly relaxing. If he used his divine consciousness, he had an 80% chance of destroying everything here. But his chances of becoming a god again under this world's oppressive rules would plummet. The planet's suppression was too strong. In this world, on this fairy continent, was human tragedy confined to Wind Wolf Town? No, it was everywhere. Killing every demon here wouldn't solve the root problem. Wang Yangfeng was right. Only by becoming strong could he change everything. A warm hand grasped his. Tang San turned to see Chu Jing, tears in her eyes. Child, we're powerless. Living well is the best way to honor your mother. I had a child, but he failed the awakening test. If he had succeeded, I'd have gladly died for him. Chu Jing pulled Tang San into her embrace alongside Ling Mushui, tears streaming down her face. Her warmth soothed Tang San's murderous heart. Ling Mushui, crying, fell asleep in Chu Jing's arms. Wang Yangfeng escorted Tang San back to his room. Sleep well, he said, patting Tang San's head. Chapter 15, Instruction. Tang San looked up at Wang Yangfeng, seeing the visibly aged man with pain in his eyes. Chu Jing's child was also his, and their child had failed the awakening test, just like the 5 children today. That explained Wang Yangfeng's desperate effort to help more children survive. Teacher, thank you. Tang San bowed deeply to Wang Yangfeng. Though he was once a god king and Wang Yangfeng was a humble figure in Wind Wolf Town, Wang's actions, preserving a glimmer of hope for humanity, earned Tang San's respect despite only knowing him for a day. With his divine consciousness, Tang San could sense the genuine sorrow and compassion in Wang Yangfeng and Chu Jing. In this world, he had finally found a home. He didn't sleep that night. Tang San didn't cultivate either, his mind haunted by the altar. He stayed in, the seed of hatred planted deep in his heart, but the warmth from Wang Yangfeng and Chu Jing was something he cherished. Now wasn't the time to act. He needed absolute certainty and a plan for those in this house before he could make a move. Morning came. Chu Jing prepared breakfast early. After a night's rest, Wang Da, Wang and Wang San were visibly more spirited, devouring the relatively hearty breakfast with satisfaction. Tang San seemed listless, and Ling Mushui's eyes were swollen, her gaze vacant. Wang Yangfeng appeared to have recovered. After breakfast, he had the 5 stand before him. Starting today, I'll teach you. Every morning, I'll cover literacy and knowledge about the continent. The next morning, you'll be tested on the previous day's content. Failing means punishment. In the afternoon, I'll teach you to cultivate your wind wolf transformation. You must improve quickly. For the next 3 years, there are no days off. Only hard work will let you survive the test in 3 years. Understood? Yes, yes. Wang Da, Wang and Wang San nodded eagerly. Here, it felt like paradise, no labor, full meals. Though not fully awakened in mind, humans were naturally clever, and they vaguely understood their fate had changed. They grasped Wang Yangfeng's warning. Failing the test in 3 years meant death, like yesterday's test. Wang Yangfeng brought out a blackboard and began writing. He taught the world's script, 1 character at a time. Among the 5, only Ling Mushui had some familiarity with the characters. Tang San could speak but hadn't learned to write. After all, he'd been a slave for 8 years. They learned 10 basic characters that first day, then listened to Wang Yangfeng's explanation of the fairy continent. The fairy continent is divided into 2 main regions. The monster tribe's domain, called the Tianyu Empire, where they refer to themselves as the Holy Clan, and the spirit tribe's domain, called the Richen Empire, where they call themselves the Spirit Clan. Different tribes may use different names for these empires, so I'll use Holy Clan and Spirit Clan to distinguish them. No one knows when the fairy continent came to be according to the records of both clans. Ancestral demons and ancestral spirits gave rise to the monster and spirit tribes, the Holy Clan and Spirit Clan. Both are born with powerful abilities, growing stronger by absorbing spiritual energy, eventually producing great demons and great spirits. These powerful clans rule the vast fairy continent. The Holy and Spirit clans rely on each other to an extent, so despite conflicts, they maintain balance, with roughly equal strength, leading to their divided rule. The Holy Clan controls the northeastern part of the continent, while the Spirit Clan holds the warmer southwest. Each clan has many great cities, ruled by powerful great demons and great spirits. At the center, where the 2 territories meet, lies Holy Spirit City, the largest city on the continent, home to the mightiest great demons and great spirits. Its size is said to be unimaginable. Even Ling Mushui, still breathing, was entranced by Wang Yangfeng's words. Her mother, a slave, had limited knowledge. His lecture was like a story, revealing the vast world beyond for the first time. The monster tribe has 7 main cities, the spirit tribe has 7, and with Holy Spirit City, the continent has 15 great cities. Only the strongest great demons and great spirits can rule them. Weaker clans form villages and towns around these cities, based on their species. Wind Wolf Town is among the smallest, as the Wind Wolf clan isn't particularly strong, and our branch is even more marginal. What about humans? Are we everywhere? Tang San asked. Wang Yangfeng glanced at him, nodding slowly. Yes, humans are across the entire fairy continent, outnumbering even the monster and spirit tribes combined. Among enslaved species, we're the largest. Humans lack innate abilities and have weak bodies compared to the monster and spirit tribes, who are born with powers, some at 5th or 6th tier, reaching 9th tier as adults and growing even stronger. Though weak, we reproduce quickly, have some intelligence, can follow complex instructions, and possess creativity. So, we're kept as slaves. To some monster tribes, or even livestock, raised for their use. In their eyes, we're lowly. Strangely, powerful monster and spirit tribe members, either through cultivation or innate strength, can transform into human forms. I've only heard this, I've been to a great city but never seen it. Life is said to be better for human slaves under the spirit tribe, who mostly don't eat meat and are less ferocious. In rare cases, humans and spirit tribe members can merge, creating vassals with higher status than ours. Some are said to be quite strong. That's all for today, too much, and you won't remember. Write the characters I taught you 10 times and memorize them. Tomorrow's test, fail, and you'll be punished. The morning lesson ended. Wang Yangfeng's knowledge, though limited, was vast for a human. His explanation of the fairy continent was immensely helpful to Tang San. To find his reincarnated wife, he first needed to understand this world. Chapter 16, the cultivation method of demon god transformation. Tang San returned to his room, wrote the 10 characters assigned by Wang Yangfeng, and processed the morning's lessons. Soon, it was time for lunch. After lunch, Wang Yangfeng gave the 5 an hour to rest before starting the afternoon lesson, which focused on cultivating the wind wolf transformation. Tang San was particularly interested in this. To regain his former strength, he needed to understand this world's power characteristics. By doing so, he could gradually recover his past abilities while leveraging the relationship between this world's traits and his mysterious heaven technique to grow stronger. Only with great power could you lay the foundation for everything. You were chosen because your bloodlines contain a portion of wind wolf blood. When this bloodline is awakened, your body transforms toward that of a wind wolf, granting you some of their abilities. This is the wind wolf transformation. Any human with a monster tribe bloodline that awakens gains corresponding abilities, collectively called demon god transformation. Cultivating to strengthen this bloodline power and gain greater abilities is the purpose of your training. Within 3 years, you must reach at least 3rd tier strength through wind wolf transformation to pass the test and survive. I emphasize, survive. Otherwise, you'll die, like the 5 children who failed the test that day. Except for Tang San, fear flickered in the others' eyes. No one was unafraid of death, and they were no exception. To cultivate demon god transformation well, you must understand how the monster tribe cultivates. Every monster, upon birth, has a form of energy in their bloodline. This energy is versatile, nourishing their body, aiding growth, and granting abilities. Even without training, their bodies naturally absorb spiritual energy to strengthen their bloodline. Stronger monsters and spirits have cultivation methods to enhance their bloodline, making training easier, boosting strength faster, and allowing them to reach higher levels. Our cultivation is similar to the monster tribes. One method is naturally absorbing spiritual energy to improve, and the other is through specific techniques. I have the cultivation methods for the first 4 tiers of wind wolf transformation, which I'll now teach you. The core is to stimulate the energy in your bloodline, prompting it to produce more energy and allowing you to control it. I'll now guide you on how to channel your wind wolf bloodline for cultivation. Wang Yangfeng began his instruction. Tang San listened intently. Wang Yangfeng explained simply, mainly for the Wang brothers to understand, trusting Tang San and Ling Mushui's comprehension. Cultivating wind wolf transformation primarily involves stimulating the bloodline, using its energy to activate the body and bloodline, enabling it to absorb more spiritual energy during this process. According to Wang Yangfeng, areas with denser spiritual energy were better for bloodline enhancement, but overly dense energy could overwhelm the frail human body. Wind Wolf Town's environment was sufficient for their cultivation. The method to stimulate the bloodline was straightforward. From Tang San's perspective, it involved guiding the wind wolf energy to stimulate specific acupoints, a very basic cultivation technique. Compared to the mysterious heaven technique, it was exponentially simpler. However, no matter how basic, Tang San could have learned it. The reason was simple. He had no true wind wolf bloodline. His wind blade came from absorbing wind wolf bloodline power through his mysterious heaven technique, retaining that energy as a skill. He could replicate the wind blade's imprint with his technique, but its strength was fixed at the level of the absorbed energy. Thus, the wind wolf transformation cultivation method was meaningless to him, though it helped him better understand this world's cultivation and demon god transformation. Guided by Wang Yangfeng's bloodline energy, the Wang brothers quickly grasped the method. Ling Mushui mastered it even faster, needing only one guidance to cultivate on her own. When it came to Tang San, before Wang Yangfeng could guide him, he was already surrounded by cyan light, activating his wind blade. You've got it. Wang Yangfeng was surprised, sensing the stronger wind elements around Tang San, yet noting no physical wind wolf changes. Yes, your explanation was clear. I tried, and it worked, Tang San said earnestly. Wang Yangfeng looked at him skeptically. He had taught others before, but Tang San was the first to master wind wolf transformation without guidance. His talent was extraordinary. From their first meeting, Wang Yangfeng sensed something different about Tang San, though he couldn't pinpoint what. Regardless, it was a good thing. Even he lacked Tang San's aptitude. Tang San wanted to ask if there was a bottleneck at the 3rd tier but held back, knowing it would raise suspicion. He decided to experiment himself, as his cultivation differed from demon god transformation. Alright, keep cultivating diligently to strengthen your bloodline power. In a month, I'll test your progress to check your strength, Wang Yangfeng said. Teacher, may I ask a question? Tang San spoke up. Go ahead, Wang Yangfeng nodded. What's the highest tier for monster and spirit tribes on the fairy continent? Tang San asked. Wang Yangfeng paused, surprised by the question. Looking at the thin, clear-eyed boy, he said, legend says it's the 12th tier, incredibly powerful. Whether the mythical ancestral demons go beyond that, I don't know. Tang San's heart jolted, forming a judgment. In his original Douluo continent, the highest level for ordinary people was 9th tier, with god level above that. If this world's 10th, 11th, and 12th tiers corresponded to 3rd, 2nd, and 1st level gods, it meant monster and spirit tribes could reach 1st level god strength. The energy scale of the blue star was among the highest he'd seen. If ancestral demons exceeded 1st level gods, they'd approach his former god king level. Without a divine realm here, a planet producing god king level beings meant its energy level matched the divine realm, not an ordinary one. This was indeed a challenging place. Overturning such a world would be no easy task. Tang San's lips twitched slightly. No other way but to take it step by step. Chapter 17, Devouring again. After guiding Tang San and the others in cultivating the wind wolf transformation, Wang Yangfeng sent them back to their rooms to practice. At dinner, Wang Yangfeng addressed Wang Da, Wang and Wang San. I thought about it, and I want to give you proper names, ones that belong to you. Are you willing? Willing. Wang Da nodded eagerly, his expression honest. Wang blinked. Sure. Wang San, the tallest but thinnest, like a bamboo pole, hesitated. Is that okay? Of course. Wang Da glared at him. Okay. Wang San mumbled, seeming a bit intimidated by Wang Da. Wang Yangfeng said, then it's settled. I've chosen names for you. Wang Da, you'll be Wang Chao. Wang you'll be Wang Zhang. Wang San, you'll be Wang Jiaolei. Wang Chao beamed. Great. Thank you, teacher. I finally have my own name. Wang Zhang blinked silently, more reserved than Wang Chao and Wang Jiaolei, not timid but introspective. Among the three, Tang San had caught a glint of hatred in Wang Zhang's eyes during the sacrificial ceremony, not just fear. Wang Jiaolei frowned. Are those 3 characters hard to write? Why so many questions? It's settled. Thank you, teacher. Wang Chao snapped, acting like the eldest. Tang San, let teacher give you a name too, Wang Chao suggested kindly. Tang San shook his head. No need. I'm fine with Tang San. Alright, let's eat. After dinner, they returned to their rooms to cultivate. The Wang brothers still needed Wang Yangfeng's guidance to enter a cultivation state, but Tang San didn't. To Wang Yangfeng's surprise, after just one guidance, Ling Mushui could stimulate her bloodline and cultivate on her own, exceeding his expectations. Night deepened. Sitting cross-legged on his bed, Tang San slowly opened his eyes. Across from him, Wang Zhang cultivated diligently, his aura steady. Tang San sensed his bloodline pulsing, with faint wind element fluctuations around him. Tang San quietly got out of bed, his gaze sharpening. Among the 5, he was the youngest. Wang Chao was 17, Wang Zhang 14, Wang Jiaolei 12, Ling Mushui 10, and he was 8. Life had finally changed, at least becoming stable, free from the fear of becoming food. Now, his priority was to increase his strength. He gave himself 3 years. In 3 years, it would be time to leave, and to seek revenge. Looking out the window toward the Wind Wolf Town Square, his fists clenched instinctively. The mother he'd known for only a month had died at the hands of the Wind Wolves, leaving no room for reconciliation with the monster tribe. Tang San quietly opened the window, slipped out, and carefully closed it. Though Wang Yangfeng's cultivation surpassed his, Tang San's Tang Sec techniques from his past life ensured he wouldn't be detected. He moved silently, distancing himself from the house. He avoided the square, fearing the sight of the altar's bones would overwhelm his emotions. Sticking to shadowy corners, he concealed his presence. Having visited Wind Wolf Town many times, he wasn't familiar with every spot but knew the general layout. Soon, he reached a large stone building, brightly lit with raucous noises inside. In his previous life, this would be a tavern. He didn't know what kind of alcohol this world had, but this was a favorite hunt for wind wolves. Though it was late, the place was still lively, meaning Tang San had chosen the right spot. He crouched in a dark corner, silently watching the tavern's entrance, waiting patiently. Perhaps because it was late, he didn't wait long. A few tall figures stumbled out, arm in arm, their loud, slurred voices indicating they were drunk. Tang San watched them head into the town, splitting up at a fort to return home. He targeted a medium-built wind wolf and followed swiftly. Moving silently, he went unnoticed by the inebriated wolf. Wind wolf cultivation could generally be gauged by size. Smaller ones were second tier, larger ones third tier, and only the exceptionally robust were higher. In Wind Wolf Town, only the Lord, over 3 meters tall, fit that description. Tang San's target was a third-tier wind wolf, common in the town. He quickened his pace, closing in silently. With a flick of his right hand, he used the Tang Sex controlling crane catching dragon technique, releasing gentle mysterious heaven energy. The wind wolf stumbled, about to fall forward. Despite being drunk, the third-tier wind wolf's agility kicked in, instinctively bracing with its hands to spring up. Tang San seized the moment. He leapt, tapping the wolf's waist with his toe. For dogs and wolves, the waist was a weak point, and wind wolf demons were similar. Struck in the waist, the wolf's body went limp, collapsing sideways. As it opened its mouth to curse, Tang San's mysterious jade hand pinched its neck, sealing its bloodline and knocking it unconscious. The sequence was lightning fast, taking mere seconds. The third-tier wind wolf lay limp. Tang San scanned the surroundings, no movement. He dragged the wolf into the shadows, pressing his right hand to its chest. After years of cultivation, he was familiar with the wind element in wind wolf bloodlines. Injecting his mysterious heaven energy, he sensed the wind element within. To his delight, the living wind wolf's bloodline power was far denser than that of the 2 dead wolves from 2 years ago. His energy devoured Ithalbuke Cheetah, merging with the wind blade energy imprint he already had. Though some energy dissipated during fusion, his wind blade aura grew stronger, not the blade itself but its imprint. This meant his mysterious heaven technique could convert wind wolf bloodline power into a stronger wind blade. Most excitingly, as this energy merged, the bottleneck at the 3rd level of his mysterious heaven technique showed signs of loosening, nearing a breakthrough to the 4th. Tang San carefully noted the wind wolf's appearance. He didn't kill it, a drunk passed out on the road wouldn't draw attention, but a dead 3rd-tier wind wolf would cause a stir, and the time wasn't right. Chapter 18, Experiment and Judgment. Tang San silently returned to the residence. Wang Zhang was still cultivating on his bed, deeply immersed in the wind wolf transformation. Tang San sat on his bed and quickly circulated his mysterious heaven technique, channeling the wind wolf bloodline power he had just absorbed. This was a crucial experiment for him. Its results would determine whether he could break through his bottleneck and find a method to do so if successful. It would greatly benefit his future cultivation. The experiment had 2 parts. First, whether absorbing the wind wolf's bloodline power could help him break through his bottleneck. Second, whether the 3rd-tier wind wolf he drained could recover its bloodline power or lose it permanently. Both aspects were critical to his cultivation path. He was adept at wielding the mysterious heaven technique. After absorbing the 3rd-tier wind wolf's bloodline power, the loosening of his bottleneck had been clear. However, as he circulated his technique again, that sensation faded. The bottleneck, momentarily loosened, seemed suppressed again by an invisible force, preventing the breakthrough. This made Tang San frown. If it didn't work as he'd hoped, it was a significant setback. Staying stuck at this level would be a major issue, forcing him to find another way. He didn't panic, continuing to circulate his mysterious heaven technique, gradually assimilating the absorbed bloodline power. His technique's power grew denser, not advancing in level but increasing slightly in volume. He also noticed the wind wolf imprint within him had strengthened. In simple terms, he could now form larger wind blades. When he activated the imprint with his technique, it produced more pronounced wind wolf characteristics. Initially, after absorbing Zhu Jiaxin's demon god transformation and wolf demon bloodline power, his leopard flash was stronger than his wind blade, effective within 10 meters. The wind blade, though useful, wasn't particularly powerful. Now, after absorbing the 3rd-tier wind wolf's bloodline power, the wind blade imprint had grown stronger. When he activated it, not only did his wind wolf aura intensify, but the wind blade itself grew larger and more powerful, nearly matching a 3rd-tier wind wolf's ability. Reflecting on these changes, Tang San formed his judgments. He was now certain that his mysterious heaven technique could enhance itself by absorbing monster tribe bloodline power. During absorption, the bloodline power became part of his technique, accelerating his cultivation. The bloodline's traits formed imprints, allowing him to convert his technique's energy into those abilities. This was a unique transformation, likely exclusive to the mysterious heaven technique. He could absorb different monster tribe bloodline powers to form imprints, granting him their abilities, a fascinating prospect. His earlier hypothesis was likely correct. To break through the bottleneck and evade this plane suppression, absorbing monster tribe bloodline power was necessary. The momentary loosening of the bottleneck was real, but the failure to break through was likely because the absorbed energy wasn't strong enough. The 3rd-tier wind wolf's bloodline energy was weaker than his 3rd-level peak mysterious heaven technique. To advance, he'd likely need to absorb a 4th-tier wind wolf's bloodline power. By briefly mimicking a higher-tier monster tribe aura, he could loosen the plane suppression and push through the bottleneck to the 4th tier. He suspected future breakthroughs, starting from this 3rd-tier bottleneck, would require similar methods to bypass the plane's restrictions. This gave him a clear direction and goal. The next step was to find a 4th-tier wind wolf and attempt to absorb its bloodline power. 4th-tier wind wolves were rare in Wind Wolf Town, but he knew one, Wang Yangfeng, a 4th-tier vassal. His status allowed him to live in such a house, likely making him the strongest vassal in town. The next task was to observe the 3rd-tier wind wolf he drained. If it could recover its bloodline power, Tang San could proceed to target a 4th-tier wind wolf without easily being detected. If it couldn't recover, he'd need to lay low. A mysterious loss of bloodline power would raise suspicions, and if a 4th-tier wind wolf suffered the same, it would be obvious something was wrong. With these judgments, Tang San's mindset stabilized, and he continued cultivating his mysterious heaven technique. Though he couldn't break through now, his experience told him that steady accumulation would lead to a natural breakthrough. A solid foundation now would ease future cultivation. Over the next few days, the 5 trained under Wang Yangfeng daily, mornings for knowledge, afternoons for wind wolf transformation. Their lives were fulfilling, a stark contrast to their former slave existence. Ling Mushui's mood remained low, but she was diligent in training and learning. After a few days, their talents became apparent. Among the Wang brothers, Wang Chao, despite the strongest initial awakening, had the least talent. Wang Zhang and Wang Zhaoli showed better aptitude, though they lagged behind Ling Mushui. After days of guidance, Ling Mushui could partially manifest the wind wolf transformation, though not yet form a wind blade. Her progress impressed even Wang Yangfeng. Tang San was different. Wang Yangfeng was astonished to see his wind blade grow stronger without any physical wind wolf transformation, not even a single wolf hair. Curious but helpless, Wang Yangfeng taught him additional wind blade control techniques. Over these days, Tang San completed his experiment. He sneaked out nightly to check on the wind wolf he drained. He didn't find it the first 2 nights, but on the 3rd, he spotted it from a distance. Compared to before, the wind wolf was visibly weaker. However, Tang San observed that its bloodline power was recovering, albeit slowly. Its absence the prior days was likely due to resting at home to recuperate. This meant the drained bloodline power could recover over time, akin to recovering from an illness. Chapter 19, Practical Combat Training. To be cautious, Tang San observed the wind wolf for a few more days. By the 5th day, its bloodline power had nearly fully recovered. This gave Tang San confidence. His next step was to find a 4th-tier wind wolf to attempt a breakthrough. This posed a challenge. 4th-tier wind wolves were far stronger than 3rd-tier ones, with a significant gap in power. 3rd-tier wind wolves were typically over 1.9 meters tall and very robust. 4th-tier ones exceeded 2.2 meters, their strength beyond mere robustness. A single 4th-tier wind wolf could easily handle 4 or 5 3rd-tier ones. The jump from 3rd to 4th tier was a major hurdle. Though Tang San was confident he could face a 4th-tier wind wolf using his mastered Tang Sec techniques, leopard flash, and wind blade, defeating one quietly was nearly impossible. Any disturbance risked exposing him. His options were to confront a fourth-tier wind wolf in the wild or to find a way through his teacher, Wang Yangfeng. Tang San didn't rush, continuing his daily studies in cultivation. Wang Yangfeng's lessons on the fairy continent's history and culture were just as vital to him. Half a month passed, and everyone's bloodline power improved, with all able to release wind blades, though the other four lagged behind Tang San significantly. Starting today, we'll add practical combat lessons. Only through real combat can you further hone your fighting skills. It was afternoon, and today's lesson seemed different. Come to the yard. Wang Yangfeng led the five to the yard. After half a month of training, all could stimulate their bloodlines and cultivate the wind wolf transformation independently. This was their first combat lesson. The yard wasn't large but sufficient for movement, with wooden fences blocking outside views. Wang Yangfeng stood in the center. Take turns attacking me, Wang Chao. You first. Use wind wolf transformation. Okay. Wang Chao stepped forward, stopping 3 meters from Wang Yangfeng. Begin. Wang Yangfeng faced them directly to prevent them from hurting each other due to poor control. Wang Chao took a deep breath, his bloodline surging. He let out a wolf howl, his body swelling, clothes stretching, wolf fur sprouting, teeth protruding, and faint cyan light glowing in his eyes. A hint of ferocity emerged. Compared to his previously thin frame, he now seemed robust for his age. Attack me, Wang Yangfeng nodded. Wang Chao growled, the transformation enhancing his physical abilities and instilling a wolf-like ferocity. He lunged at Wang Yangfeng with force. His attack lacked technique but was faster and stronger than normal humans. Wang Yangfeng didn't use his transformation, simply stepping aside to dodge. Too slow. Use your wolf claws as weapons and aim for vital points. Wang Chao missed, turned, and lunged again, clawing at Wang Yangfeng's chest. Wang Yangfeng stepped aside once more. Tang San observed, noting Wang Yangfeng's precise judgment. Each step dodged Wang Chao's attacks perfectly, reflecting accurate anticipation. While evading, he pointed out flaws in Wang Chao's approach. Tang San could tell his teacher had extensive combat experience. His calm demeanor and pinpoint critiques of Wang Chao's attacks were impressive. After about 5 minutes, Wang Chao crouched, panting heavily, his transformation fading. His bloodline power could only sustain it for that long. Note his mistakes and avoid them. Also, until your bloodline power reaches the second tier, don't use wind blade lightly. It consumes too much energy, shortening your transformation time and leaving you vulnerable unless you're sure of a decisive strike. Wang Yangfeng advised, beckoning Wang Zhang. You saw his errors. Avoid them. Come. Wang Zhang nodded silently, activating his transformation. His changes were less pronounced than Wang Chao's, but his eyes were sharper. Crouching slightly, he lunged at Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng shifted his feet as if to dodge, but Wang Zhang paused mid-lunge, tapping the ground with his right foot to change direction toward Wang Yangfeng's anticipated path. However, Wang Yangfeng's movement was a feint, and he stayed put, causing Wang Zhang to miss. It looked as if Wang Zhang had intentionally missed. Only Tang San saw through it. Wang Yangfeng had baited him with a fake move. Not bad, you didn't commit fully in adjusted direction, but watch your opponent's actions closely. Continue, Wang Yangfeng praised. Wang Zhang, after missing, twisted and lunged again. He was more agile than Wang Chao, pulling back after failed attacks to catch his breath. Despite weaker transformation power, Wang Zhang lasted about 5 minutes, showing superior combat talent. Wang Zhaolei followed, managing only 3 minutes due to his younger age and weaker abilities, though Wang Yangfeng had noted his cultivation progress was better. Ling Mushui was fourth. Teacher, can I attack however I want? She asked softly, looking at Wang Yangfeng. Yes, go all out. You can't hurt me, let's see your combat ability. Wang Yangfeng replied, pleased with his only female student. Her diligence matched the boys, and her early awakening made her learning and cultivation effective. Ling Mushui took a deep breath, her hair turning grayish cyan, wolf fur sprouting at her neck, and cyan light swirling in her eyes. She darted toward Wang Yangfeng. Her speed surpassed the Wang brothers, her lunge light and agile despite lacking technique. Wang Yangfeng saw she was going all out, fast but repeating the brothers' mistakes. He frowned slightly, stepping aside to dodge. Ling Mushui missed, but midair, she twisted her body. Without changing her lunge's direction, the twist risked losing control. As her back fell toward the ground, she flipped. A wind blade shot from her hand toward Wang Yangfeng's shoulder. Chapter 20, Tang San versus Wang Yangfeng. Because Wang Yangfeng only took a single step to dodge, the distance between him and Ling Mushui was close when she twisted and attacked midair. It was too late for him to evade again. Wang Chao and Wang Zhaolei gasped as Wang Yangfeng's body flashed with cyan light, neutralizing the wind blade aimed at his shoulder. Simultaneously, a cyan light shot from his feet, catching Ling Mushui as she fell, gently lifting her to stand steady. Her wind wolf transformation faded, and she panted heavily, dazed by what had just happened. Wang Yangfeng's eyes were full of approval. Well done, very well done. You knew the gap between us, so you focused all your power into that wind blade, striking unexpectedly. That's smart fighting. Excellent. He clearly saw through Ling Mushui's tactic. Teacher, you're amazing. Just now, Ling Mushui's eyes were wide with shock. Wang Yangfeng explained, that was an application of wind blade. I'll teach you when you reach the third tier. It requires strong bloodline power to perform. To Ling Mushui, the Wang brothers, and even Tang San, Wang Yangfeng seemed like a towering mountain. Tang San was inwardly shocked. Among the human powerhouses he'd seen, Zhu Jiaxin was the first, followed by Wang Yangfeng. He was now certain Wang Yangfeng surpassed Zhu Jiaxin. Zhu Jiaxin, also around 4th tier, could kill 3rd tier wolf demons while heavily injured. Wang Yangfeng was likely no weaker, and his control over wind elements was exquisite, not just a simple wind blade but a direct manipulation of wind elements. Tang San hadn't seen such skill in any wolf demon. This control required strong mental power and deep understanding of wind elements, making Tang San view Wang Yangfeng in a new light. Tang San, your turn, Wang Yangfeng said, dismissing Ling Mushui and turning to him. Tang San stepped forward, pondered briefly, and nodded to Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng smiled slightly. Begin. Tang San narrowed his eyes, cyan light flaring within them. Wang Yangfeng was startled by the intensity. For those with wind wolf bloodline, stronger bloodlines meant greater affinity with wind elements, allowing more control. The strength of one's aura could be judged by the cyan light in their eyes. After just half a month of training, Wang Yangfeng was astonished to see Tang San's cyan light far stronger than when he first arrived. Before he could dwell on it, Tang San acted, raising his right hand to release a 3-inch wind blade. It flew without a sound, appearing unremarkable as it headed toward Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng had anticipated Tang San wouldn't charge directly, as he couldn't use wind wolf transformation to enhance his body. Attacking physically would be unwise. What surprised him was the silence of Tang San's wind blade, unlike a typical one. Wang Yangfeng didn't move, waiting until the wind blade neared to step aside. With his combat experience, he conserved every bit of energy. But then, the wind blade vanished from his sight. It simply disappeared. His eyes stung briefly, and a cyan light appeared before him, rippling at his forehead. Instinctively, he stepped back, shocked. It hit. Tang San's wind blade had struck him, bypassing his dodge and even its trajectory was untraceable. It hit his forehead silently. Without his wind energy shield, he'd have been injured. How was this possible? Wang Yangfeng's gaze on Tang San changed. Again, he called. Tang San raised his left hand, releasing another wind blade. It looked identical, still silent. Given their close distance, as Tang San released it, Wang Yangfeng fired a larger, faster wind blade to intercept it. But a strange scene unfolded. Tang San's wind blade arced gracefully in the air, narrowly avoiding Wang Yangfeng's. Then, like the first, it vanished from Wang Yangfeng's sight. Without hesitation, he summoned a cyan whirlwind around himself. A flash of light appeared at his lower back as Tang San's wind blade reappeared and was deflected. Wang Yangfeng's face was pure shock. He prided himself on his exceptional wind element control, unmatched in Wind Wolf Town except perhaps by the unfathomable high priest, whose stronger bloodline gave her an edge. He never imagined an 8-year-old boy could display such precise wind blade manipulation. Once could be a fluke, but twice, both silent, perfectly controlled, vanishing before his eyes. It was almost divine skill. Unbeknownst to him, in Tang San's first life, he lived to 28 in the Tang sect, a sect renowned for hidden weapons and poisons. Tang San was obsessed with hidden weapons, risking everything to steal the Intersect's mysterious heaven treasure record, mastering its 6 techniques: mysterious heaven technique, mysterious jade hand, controlling crane catching dragon, purple demon eyes, ghost shadow perplexing steps, and hidden weapon 100 solutions, elevating them to new heights. When exposed, he chose to leave everything behind, jumping off a cliff, leading to his first transmigration to Douluo continent. There, using Tang Sect techniques in the world's martial soul system, he cultivated to godhood, becoming a god king. The first 5 Tang Sect techniques served the 6th, hidden weapon 100 solutions. Tang Sect hidden weapons were divided into mechanical devices, crafted with intricate craftsmanship, and thrown weapons, relying on skill and profound inner power. In his previous life on Douluo continent, Tang San's father, a blacksmith and hidden hammer king, taught him forging. Combining this with hidden weapon 100 solutions, Tang San created legendary mechanical hidden weapons. In this life, with his divine consciousness and vast experience, far surpassing his first transmigration, he lacked the means to craft mechanical weapons. Thus, he focused on cultivating hidden weapon techniques. Chapter 21, telling a story. When Tang San first gained the wind blade ability, its strength was limited. However, with the techniques from the hidden weapon 100 solutions, his years of insight, and the enhanced mental power from cultivating purple demon eyes, he had already mastered the wind blade with finesse. After absorbing a 3rd-tier wolf demon's bloodline power, his wind blade's potency increased significantly. His attack on Wang Yangfeng was restrained. He could have compressed the wind blade for greater destructive power, making it much harder for Wang Yangfeng to block. Wang Yangfeng stared at him in shock, but Tang San maintained a calm expression, his eyes tinged with confusion. Wang Yangfeng didn't question him immediately, saying only, "That's all for today's combat lesson. Reflect on the mistakes you made. We'll have combat training every 3 days. I hope to see improvement next time. It's critical for passing the test against wind wolves in 3 years." They returned inside, but Wang Yangfeng stopped Tang San and led him to the 2nd floor. Tang San had been upstairs before. The 2nd floor had 2 rooms, one for Wang Yangfeng and Chu Jing, and another, presumably a guest room, which Tang San had never entered. To his surprise, Wang Yangfeng opened this room and beckoned him inside. "Come in." Tang San followed, stepping into the room. His eyebrows twitched slightly. The room was empty, devoid of furniture. Yet, the wind element inside was noticeably denser than outside. Though he couldn't easily use his divine consciousness, its presence had accelerated his mental power growth, sharpening his perception. He quickly noticed that the wind elements came from minerals placed in the room's 4 corners. Closing the door, Wang Yangfeng's expression grew serious. "Explain how you gained such control over your wind blade." Tang San blinked. "Teacher." Wang Yangfeng's face was stern. "You must be clear. This concerns your life and death. I need a reasonable explanation, or you can't stay here. What's going on?" "When you first awakened, I sensed something off. Normally, humans awakening a wind wolf bloodline show wolf-like traits, transforming to enhance physical strength before gradually gathering wind element power to master the wind blade. But you've never shown transformation signs, yet you wield wind blade, and its power grows quickly. Today, you demonstrated such control. This isn't innate, is it? The wind blade might come from your bloodline, but where does your control come from? Without guidance, I don't believe you were born with it in your awakening of intellect. Explain it too." Tang San fell silent, lowering his head as if pondering how to respond. Wang Yangfeng waited patiently. After a long pause, Tang San spoke slowly. "Teacher, I actually awakened long ago, not during this test." "When?" Wang Yangfeng asked, as if he'd suspected as much. "When I was 6, Tang San said. "By chance, I awakened. One night, I was starving and went looking for food, wandering to the village's edge. In the woods, someone grabbed me terrified. I tried to scream, but he covered my mouth. In fear, I awakened my bloodline power." He paused before continuing. "He sensed my awakening, told me not to scream, and let me go. He checked my body, then asked if I wanted to learn from him. I didn't understand what learning was. He talked to me, gave me food, and told me to find him every night for more. I was always hungry, so I went. He taught me things, and gradually, I learned more. He also taught me to control the wind blade." "What did he look like? Do you know his name?" Wang Yangfeng pressed. Tang San shook his head blankly. "He never said. He told me he'd tell me when I was older, but 3 months ago, he stopped appearing. Then came the awakening ceremony." "So, he taught you to control the wind blade. Did he say why you can't transform?" "He said transformation isn't always good, as it limits you to one demon god transformation. You should take only its essence. He taught me a cultivation method that prevents transformation. He said it's special, not to be shared or learned carelessly, as it could lead to deviation or death." "A cultivation method, one just for humans." Wang Yangfeng's eyes lit up. "I don't know," Tang San said. "The last time I saw him, he told me to always aim to redeem humanity. One day, humans won't be slaves." At those words, Wang Yangfeng's body shook, his face filled with shock. His fists clenched, overwhelmed by emotion, unable to calm himself for a long time. "Redemption, redemption," he muttered, lips pursed. Tang San could sense his intense agitation. After a while, Wang Yangfeng steadied himself, taking a deep breath. "Tang San, never repeat what you've told me to anyone, not even Mushui. Keep it buried in your heart. If anyone asks where you learned your wind blade control, say it was from me, understand?" Tang San blinked again. "Teacher, do you want to learn? I can teach you." He said it's fine to teach humans. Wang Yangfeng's heart stirred. Tang San's 2 wind blade attacks had stunned him. He considered his own wind element control exceptional, with little room for improvement, yet Tang San's silent wind blades opened a new door. He hesitated, learn from his student. "Teacher, I don't think you can beat me," Tang San suddenly said. Wang Yangfeng stared, seeing Tang San's childlike yet earnest eyes. "You can't beat me." He echoed. Tang San nodded. "He told me not to show my full strength easily. That day, I wanted to destroy them, but I knew I couldn't beat the strongest 2. Ordinary wolf demons, though, probably can't beat me." Wang Yangfeng raised an eyebrow. "Not even me." Chapter 22. "You probably can't beat me," Tang San said. "Teacher's energy level is likely higher than mine, but you might not be able to handle my wind blade." Wang Yangfeng considered this and replied, "All right, let's spar here. If you win, I'll learn your wind blade control techniques. If you lose, I'll teach you a method to cultivate wind elements and enhance yourself. How's that?" "Deal." Tang San nodded immediately. Tang San's actions today were carefully calculated, with several goals in mind. By showcasing his shadowless wind blade, he wanted Wang Yangfeng to recognize his ability, elevating his status and granting him more freedom. He also genuinely wanted to teach Wang Yangfeng and the other 4, strengthening them for the test in 3 years to avoid further tragedy. On a deeper level, mentioning redemption was a test to gauge Wang Yangfeng's reaction. Given Wang Yangfeng's protectiveness toward them, Tang San wanted to see if he knew or was part of the redemption organization. If so, it would be ideal, aiding Tang San's future plans to join the organization and find his reincarnated wife. Lastly, he aimed to create an opportunity to absorb some of Wang Yangfeng's wind wolf bloodline power to break through to the 4th level of his mysterious heaven technique. He had considered various approaches and observed the town's 4th-tier wind wolves. A sneak attack on one risked exposure due to his small stature, as it was hard to avoid causing a commotion. Absorbing a small amount of bloodline power wouldn't cause lasting harm, making Wang Yangfeng the safest target for his breakthrough. Tang San had also weighed the possibility that Wang Yangfeng might be a loyal servant of the Wind Wolf clan. However, this seemed unlikely. Even if Wang Yangfeng didn't dare defy the clan, his attitude toward humans suggested good character. As a last resort, if betrayed, Tang San could unleash his divine consciousness to raise Wind Wolf Town, though he was restraining such impulses. After days of deliberation, Tang San concluded that revealing some of his abilities would yield more benefits than risks, leading to his current choice. Wang Yangfeng moved to a corner, carefully adjusting the wind element emitting minerals. A gentle energy, wind elements, filled the room, forming a wind-based array. Such a thing existed. Tang San was inwardly shocked. Wang Yangfeng's surprise was significant. This world had such arrays. It's ready. No need to worry about causing a disturbance here. Show me what you learned from that person, Wang Yangfeng said, deliberately increasing the distance to give Tang San room to wield his wind blade. Unlike earlier guidance, this spar was different, and he didn't underestimate the 8-year-old. Cyan light flashed in Wang Yangfeng's eyes as his body swelled, activating his wind wolf transformation. Though humans' transformations didn't match the size of same-tier wind wolves, Wang Yangfeng's height exceeded 2 meters. The wind elements around him grew wild, his wolf claws glowing with cyan light. Despite the distance, Tang San felt the pressure emanating from him. This was the strongest opponent Tang San had faced in this world. He focused intently, crouching slightly, feet positioned one forward, one back, cyan light glinting in his eyes. In the next moment, Tang San moved, raising both hands to release 2 wind blades, larger than those used in the yard. Silent as before, they arced left and right toward Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng acted simultaneously, ignoring the wind blades. Having experienced their power, he knew dodging them was difficult. Unsure whether Tang San's claim of surpassing him was arrogance or confidence, he wanted to test the truth. Ignoring the wind blades, he charged at Tang San to close the distance, preventing further wind blade attacks. He refrained from using his own, wary of injuring Tang San. Tang San retreated. 2 soft PFFT sounds rang out as the wind blade struck Wang Yangfeng's knees. Despite his wind element protection and enhanced physical strength from transformation, the blade staggered him, disrupting his charge. Shocked, he realized these weren't second-tier wind blade attacks. Seizing the moment, Tang San slid to the side, widening the distance, and released 2 more wind blades. Wang Yangfeng leaned forward, using his claws to brace and flip, regaining control. But the next 2 wind blades hit his knees again, halting his attempt to rise. 2 smaller wind blades followed, their threat palpable, were decompressed. Instinctively, Wang Yangfeng crouched, clapping his claws to form a whirlwind shield, no longer daring to take the hits directly. Then, a strange scene unfolded. 2 cyan flashes vanished into his whirlwind. A sting hit his eyes, and he raised his arms to block. Pain shot through his arms. Tang San's attack had targeted his eyes. Tang San's wind blades were stronger than expected, clearly at 3rd-tier level, a shock Wang Yangfeng hadn't anticipated. At such a young age, Tang San's strength matched a 3rd-tier wolf demon, despite lacking transformation, thanks to his wind blade power and control. But Wang Yangfeng wasn't 3rd tier. Dismissing any underestimation, he roared, cyan light flaring. His eyes deepened, amplified by the room's array, his wolf fur glowing faintly cyan. Kicking off the ground, he accelerated, shielding his eyes with his arms, charging straight at Tang San. 2 more wind blades hit him but were neutralized by his protective wind elements. He was now fully unleashing his 4th-tier power. His goal was simple: close the distance and end the fight. Chapter 23, Mysterious Heaven Technique, 4th level. In Wang Yangfeng's view, no matter how skillfully Tang San controlled his wind blade, it was meaningless if it couldn't break his defenses. In close combat, Tang San, unable to transform, was bound to lose. The room was small, and Wang Yangfeng would reach him in an instant. At that moment, Tang San's lips curved into a faint smile. In truth, he wanted Wang Yangfeng to close the distance. In terms of absolute speed, he couldn't match a 4th-tier Wang Yangfeng, but in close combat, he excelled. No matter how experienced Wang Yangfeng was, he couldn't compare to Tang San, a former god king who had fought countless battles. Tang San tapped the ground lightly, his figure flickering like a ghost, slipping through an impossible gap to evade Wang Yangfeng's frontal charge. He darted to Wang Yangfeng's side, crouching to use his small stature to avoid the man's robust arms. His right hand, fingers together, struck like lightning at Wang Yangfeng's armpit. Wang Yangfeng's body glowed with cyan light, bolstered by his sturdy frame, offering considerable defense. But Tang San's pinpoint strike, amplified by mysterious jade hand, breached his wind element shield. The armpit was a vulnerable spot, weak even in a strong body. Wang Yangfeng felt a sharp, needle-like pain in his armpit, and half his body went numb. As he reeled in shock, Tang San's hand formed a fist, striking the same spot again. Wang Yangfeng's body softened, collapsing. Tang San pressed against him, using his shoulder to topple him to the ground. Wang Yangfeng felt his right side go limp, unable to muster strength, his heart filled with disbelief. He hadn't fully grasped how he lost. It happened too fast. Fearing he'd injured Tang San, he hadn't fought at full strength, never using his strongest wind blade attacks. Tang San had defeated him in close combat, which was unimaginable. Tang San retreated quickly, cyan light flickering on his palm. In those 3 contacts, he had silently used his mysterious heaven technique to siphon a small amount of Wang Yangfeng's 4th-tier wind wolf bloodline power, contributing to his numbness. Though the amount was small, its 4th-tier quality caused Tang San's mysterious heaven technique to surge, boiling with energy. His judgment was correct. Higher-tier bloodline power of the same attribute was indeed the key to his breakthrough. Feeling this change, Tang San sat on the floor, panting heavily, feigning exhaustion. In reality, his deep mysterious heaven technique and recovery ability could sustain a dozen more wind blades. He hadn't even used leopard flash. If he fought all out, he estimated a 60 to 70% chance of defeating Wang Yangfeng. Wang Yangfeng held back, but so did Tang San. Despite the cultivation gap, Tang San's combat experience and techniques far surpassed his opponents. In his previous life, defeating higher-tier opponents was routine. In this world, he hadn't fully grasped its rules or gained enough benefits, or he'd grow even faster. As the numbness faded, Wang Yangfeng sat up, his gaze complex. He never imagined losing to an 8-year-old, but a loss was a loss, and he wouldn't make excuses. Teacher, I'm exhausted. Can I rest? Tang San asked, looking pitiful. Wang Yangfeng's lips twitched. Go remember what I said. Don't tell anyone what you shared today, or it could bring deadly consequences. Yes, teacher, Tang San replied, scrambling up and leaving. He needed to seize this breakthrough opportunity to reach the 4th level of his mysterious heaven technique. Advancing would change everything. Back in his room, he found Wang Zhang still cultivating. Tang San climbed onto his bed, feeling good. Wang Yangfeng's reaction confirmed his judgment. His teacher would have doubts but would protect him. Tang San didn't mind teaching him some hidden weapon techniques. An unexpected bonus was discovering the wind array in Wang Yangfeng's 2nd floor room, clearly aiding cultivation. Tang San's wind element control relied on the wind wolf bloodline imprint, requiring constant absorption to improve. Direct control of wind elements seemed impossible, even with sufficient mental power, due to this plane's restrictions. Breaking these restrictions, per Wang Yangfeng's description of the Blue Star's hierarchy, likely required reaching the 9th tier. Tang San sat cross-legged, circulating his mysterious heaven technique. The boiling energy, surrounded by cyan light, surged toward the bottleneck. This time, stuck at the 3rd level for so long, he finally broke through. His aura thickened, absorbing spiritual energy faster. 4th level, he had reached the 4th level of the mysterious heaven technique. The moment he broke through, Tang San felt the world shift in his perception. It was a wondrous sensation, as if countless elements called to him, and he sensed more of the world's spiritual energy. Everything seemed to beckon him, and his wind wolf bloodline imprint deepened. Though he absorbed little, the 4th-tier bloodline power was effective. The most significant gain was the technique's advancement. Through years of cultivation in this breakthrough, Tang San clarified the relationship between his mysterious heaven technique and demon god transformation, or rather, monster tribe bloodlines. To grow stronger, he needed more skills. Absorbing stronger monster tribe bloodlines, especially those suited to him, to form imprints and gain their abilities was the best path. Windwolf Town wasn't his long-term home. Only in the Tianyu Empire's great cities could he encounter stronger bloodlines. But first, he needed the strength to absorb them and, in 3 years, vassal status. For Wang Yangfeng, vassal status allowed free travel on the continent with the Lord's permission. Going to a great city in 3 years was Tang San's goal. For now, he needed to accumulate strength, mastering more of his past life skills. Chapter 24, Admonitions. Perhaps because the amount of bloodline power drained was minimal, when Tang San saw Wang Yangfeng the next day, he seemed fully recovered. However, his gaze toward Tang San had noticeably changed. How could Wang Yangfeng not see that this 8-year-old child already possessed 3rd-tier strength? This realization eased his mind. Tang San's readiness to act that day stemmed from genuine capability. Even Wang Yangfeng, without going all out, had been outmaneuvered. Tang San's wind blade control was exquisite, and his close combat skills were formidable. The morning was dedicated to cultural lessons, with Tang San listening attentively, diligently studying reading and writing. After the lesson, Wang Yangfeng called Tang San upstairs again. Tang San, I have something to say. Though I warned you yesterday, I feel I need to emphasize it further. Wang Yangfeng looked at him gravely. Speak, teacher. Tang San nodded. When I first started teaching you, I explained the concept of collective punishment. You remember, right? Wang Yangfeng asked. Tang San nodded again. It's not that I fear death, Wang Yangfeng continued. I've lived for decades, longer than most humans. Compared to others, I'm fortunate to have Chu Jing by my side. Our lives have been worthwhile. But in Windwolf Town, there are 27 vassals, each with at least third-tier strength, plus you 5, making 32. If any one of us is found problematic, it could lead to collective punishment for all. He paused before adding, never mention the word redemption to anyone. And hide your strength as much as possible. You're young and impulsive, but you must restrain yourself, for your own sake and for all humans in Windwolf Town. Understand, I understand, Tang San nodded earnestly. Wang Yangfeng sighed. I hope you truly do. Since I lost you yesterday, I'll keep my word. Starting tonight, you can cultivate in this room. It has a wind array made with wind spirit stones, rudimentary but the result of years of effort. Use it every other day, it'll help you sense wind elements and enhance your wind blade. At 8, with your current ability, your future is limitless. Heed my words, preserve yourself, and greater possibilities will await. Yes, Tang San replied respectfully. Wang Yangfeng hesitated, then asked, anything you want to say or ask. Teacher, do you want to learn my wind blade control techniques? Tang San asked. Wang Yangfeng's lips twitched, not expecting the question. After a brief pause, he nodded. Yes, breaking through to the 5th tier is nearly impossible for me, and the Windwolf clan won't provide higher tier methods. Our bloodline power is limited. This branch of Windwolves peaks at 5th or 6th tier, so we're capped too. Learning techniques can boost my strength. I won't stand on ceremony. Tang San asked, is there a way to enhance bloodline power? Wang Yangfeng was taken aback. There should be, but I'm not sure. I've heard that in the monster and spirit tribes, high-ranking members can pass their bloodline essence to lower ones upon death, enhancing their bloodline. For humans, it's unthinkable. Monsters and spirits would never grant us such inheritance. What about forcibly extracting it? Tang San asked. Wang Yangfeng's heart tightened. Who told you that? The one who taught you. Tang San nodded, though it was his own deduction, attributed to the fictitious mentor. Perhaps it's possible, Wang Yangfeng said, but it's beyond my reach. In redemption, or, he stopped abruptly, slapping himself. I mentioned those words again. Remember, never speak of this, especially outside, to anyone. Teacher, easy on yourself. I felt that slap, Tang San said, his lips twitching. Wang Yangfeng huffed. All right, you rascal. Shall we start? I want to learn your invisible wind blade technique. Tang San nodded. Teacher, wind blade control isn't hard. The key is leveraging its greatest strength, speed. Wind elements naturally aid speed. The shadowless wind blade you saw is built on that. I'll teach you a basic technique called flicking arrow to maximize wind blade speed. Once you master it, I'll teach you the spinning technique. Only with both can you attempt the shadowless wind blade. Wang Yangfeng listened, slightly dazed. So many techniques. Tang San's breakthrough to the 4th level of the mysterious heaven technique wasn't the only milestone that night. Wang Yangfeng's protection and acceptance solidified Tang San's trust in him. Tang San began teaching Wang Yangfeng the basic techniques from the Tang Sect's hidden weapon 100 solutions. Wang Yangfeng's control was exceptional, surpassing most wolf demons, so he learned quickly. The time between morning lessons and lunch became Wang Yangfeng's study sessions with Tang San. To the Wang brothers and Ling Mushui, it seemed like Wang Yangfeng was giving Tang San special attention. None objected. Ling Mushui was closest to Tang San, bonded by their shared hardships. The Wang brothers, older, assumed Tang San, at 8, needed extra guidance to pass the test in 3 years. When Tang San first cultivated in the wind array, his understanding of this world deepened. At night, faint cyan light filled the room, with gentle wind elements rippling from the corner spirit stones. Though only slightly denser, the spiritual energy was several times richer, greatly aiding Tang San's mysterious heaven technique. Instead of cultivating it immediately, he tried sensing the wind elements. In his previous life, his divine power and consciousness made controlling elements effortless. Now, everything was different, requiring him to start anew. The wind elements here were light, carrying a gentle, soothing quality. When Tang San tried connecting with them using his mental power, they drifted away, repelling him instead of being drawn in. Chapter 25, 1 year of change. When Tang San cultivated using the mysterious heaven technique, the wind elements he forcibly absorbed were naturally converted into spiritual energy by the technique. This greatly aided his cultivation, but it wasn't what he wanted. He sought greater strength, not just from the mysterious heaven technique. Why could the Wind Wolf clan interact with wind elements, but he couldn't? He used his technique to activate the Wind Wolf bloodline imprint, converting part of his energy into wind blade energy. Through this imprint, he sensed something different. As he activated it, the surrounding wind elements changed, drawn to the imprint like a node, swirling around his body. He tried to absorb these elements through the node, but something seemed to block the connection, allowing only minimal control over ambient wind elements. Forming a wind blade, he noticed it absorbed wind elements from the air more effectively, enhancing its power. Interesting. Tang San began to understand. On the fairy continent, or blue star, elements couldn't be directly manipulated or cultivated. They were governed by a rule where only creatures with matching bloodline elements could attract them. Thus, wind wolf demons could absorb wind elements to strengthen their bloodline, as could human vassals with wind wolf blood. Tang San couldn't because he was purely human, lacking wind wolf blood. His mysterious heaven technique could assimilate bloodline power but not absorb wind elements directly from the air, only from wind wolf bodies, acting as a filter for natural forces. This explained humanity's weakness in this world. Without a cultivation law suited to them, they were relegated to slavery. Their survival owed to their strong reproductive ability. This deepened his understanding of the world. Cultivating in the wind array mainly accelerated his mysterious heaven technique, offering little help with wind elements. But Tang San wasn't worried. Wind Wolf Town had plenty of wind wolves. With his technique now at the 4th level, his overall strength had surged, making it easier to absorb their bloodline power. He devised a plan. Every other night, he cultivated in the wind array. On alternate nights, he slipped out to find lone wind wolves. He avoided the rare but stronger 4th tier wind wolves, targeting 3rd tier ones instead. Cautiously, he absorbed only a third of their bloodline power each time. A 3rd tier wind wolf could recover fully in 2 to 3 days, showing only slight weakness, often unnoticed. Absorbing less allowed Tang San to assimilate it quickly, fully merging it with his technique in 2 days, boosting both his cultivation and wind blade. Life continued calmly. The Wang brothers and Ling Mushui, with good talent and Wang Yangfeng's guidance, progressed quickly. After a year, all reached 2nd tier wind wolf strength. Given their bloodline activation, reaching 3rd tier in 3 years seemed feasible. Once they could use wind blade, Wang Yangfeng began teaching them Tang San's hidden weapon techniques. As Tang San expected, due to this plane suppression and the slower progress of higher tier mysterious heaven technique, he hadn't reached the 4th level peak in a year. Still, his overall strength improved significantly, and he began recovering past life skills. Protected by Wang Yangfeng and well-fed, the 5 underwent noticeable changes. Initially malnourished and gaunt, a year of training and care made them healthier. Wang Chao, now an adult, was robust, over 1.8 meters tall for a human. Wang Zhong remained thin but wiry, his small eyes often narrowed, glinting coldly. He was the quietest and most diligent. Wang Jiaolei, the liveliest, often hovered around Ling Mushui, to her annoyance. Though younger, he was over 1.7 meters, likely to surpass Wang Chao in height. Ling Mushui changed the most. At 11, the petite girl was blossoming, over 1.5 meters tall. Tang San's changes were the least noticeable. Still slim and unremarkable, his height barely increased, making him the least conspicuous. Tang San, come here. After morning lessons, Wang Yangfeng called him upstairs. A routine the others were used to. Wang Yangfeng led him into the room and pointed to a wall. Tang San's eyes lit up at a simple map hanging there. This is what you wanted. It wasn't easy to get, Wang Yangfeng said. Also, there's an opportunity. The Lord wants me to go to Jiali City. I can bring one attendant. Come with me. Into the city, Tang San, usually calm, grew excited. Over the year, he'd learned the fairy continent script from Wang Yangfeng, hearing tales of monster and spirit tribes and various clans. Cultural lessons were far more important to him than afternoon cultivation. In 9 years in this world, he had never left Windwolf Town. Chapter 26, The City. You've always wanted to see the city, haven't you? This is a good opportunity, so I'll take you along, Wang Yangfeng said with a smile, looking at Tang San. He had a peculiar feeling about Tang San. Over the past year, he had taught Tang San much, but he had also learned a great deal from him. Initially, he thought Tang San had only picked up superficial skills from that mysterious figure. However, as he began learning wind blade control techniques from Tang San, he realized Tang San had opened a new world for him. Though still at the 4th tier, Wang Yangfeng was certain he was far stronger than a year ago. This was Tang San's gift to him, so despite Tang San's young age, Wang Yangfeng never underestimated him. He also noticed Tang San's wind blade power steadily increasing. He couldn't gauge Tang San's true strength but sensed rapid progress. During combat lessons, the other four sparred with each other, but Wang Yangfeng barred Tang San from participating, citing his young age. In truth, since Tang San had defeated him a year ago, combat training seemed pointless for him. Wang Yangfeng was also careful to conceal Tang San's strength. Going to the city was a great opportunity for Tang San, who was eager to explore this world. If not for his limited strength and lack of legal status, he would have left long ago. Wang Yangfeng's teachings revealed a vast world, larger than his previous life's Douluo continent. Finding a single human in such a vast world was like searching for a needle in a haystack. Moreover, with humans so lowly here, he couldn't imagine what state his reincarnated wife, Xiao Wu, might be, and he preserved his sliver of divine consciousness because it let him faintly sense that she was alive. This was his only certainty, she was alive, somewhere in this world. If he could reach God level again, he could locate her more effectively with his divine consciousness. But he couldn't wait that long. Though this world's spiritual energy was abundant, its restrictions on him were severe. Reaching God level would involve countless obstacles. By the time he succeeded, what might have happened to Xiao Wu? Was she safe? Would she fall in love with someone else or become another's partner? These worries gnawed at Tang San. The stronger he grew, the more urgent his desire to leave. His gaze shifted to the map. It was simple, with minimal markings, just major landmarks. A line ran from northwest to southeast, dividing the map. One side was labeled Tianyu Empire, the other Richen Empire, the territories of the monster and spirit tribes. The map showed the empires as roughly equal in size, with the spirit tribes' Richen Empire slightly larger. At the center, near the dividing line, was a prominent city, Holy Spirit City, the continent's premier city, jointly governed by both tribes. Tang San's eyes moved to the upper right, finding Jiali City, one of the 7 major cities of the Tianyu Empire, the closest to Windwolf Town. Though remote, it was a coveted destination for monsters. The continent had 15 cities, 7 per tribe, with both claiming Holy Spirit City, often calling it their 8th. Windwolf Town wasn't marked on the map, which only showed the 15 major cities. Tang San memorized the map's key features, mountains, rivers, and city locations, in one glance. His heart raced. His beloved wife was somewhere on this map. Xiao Wu, where are you? Wang Yangfeng wasn't surprised by Tang San's expressive reaction. He had been even more excited on his first trip to a major city. Jiali City is nothing like Windwolf Town. It has monsters of all levels, even some spirit tribe members. As vassals, we're the lowest there. Slaves aren't even allowed, and I'll get you a temporary vassal badge. Keep it safe. Losing it could be deadly. Is the city dangerous, teacher? Tang San asked, regaining composure. Wang Yangfeng shook his head. Normally, no one pays attention to small fries like us, so it's not particularly dangerous, but you must be cautious. Stay behind me, follow my lead, speak little, and look less. Be prudent. Got it, Tang San nodded. He was deeply curious about this world's cities. Windwolf Town felt safe now, but it offered no chance to find Xiao Wu, and he needed to explore to find ways to grow stronger. He sensed that breaking through from the 4th to 5th level of his mysterious heaven technique would be even harder. 2 days later, Wang Yangfeng completed the paperwork and left Windwolf Town with Tang San. As a 4th-tier vassal, Wang Yangfeng was the strongest human in town. Ordinary wolf demons didn't treat him warmly but refrained from hostility. Leaving Windwolf Town, Tang San felt a surge of freedom, as if the world had opened up. He took a deep breath, the air feeling fresher. Wang Yangfeng led him down a small path, explaining it connected to the main road to Jiali City. The path, 3 to 4 meters wide, wasn't smooth but manageable, paved with stones by human slaves. The Windwolf Town Lord tasked Wang Yangfeng with delivering a tribute list to the Windwolf clan leader in Jiali City. The Wolf Demon clan was a major tribe, not strong enough to own a main city but ranking in the top 20 among monster tribes due to their numbers and combat prowess. The Windwolf clan was weaker within the Wolf Demons but still part of a major tribe. Their clan leader, a core figure in the Wolf Demon hierarchy, received annual tributes from smaller lords like Windwolf Towns, symbolizing submission. At year-end, the Lord and High Priest would personally deliver the tributes. Wang Yangfeng's task was to present the list for the clan leader's approval. If satisfactory, it brought benefits, if not, it spelled trouble for the town's lord. Chapter 27, Elephant Demon. The journey from Windwolf Town to Jiali City spanned over 300 kilometers. With Tang San and Wang Yangfeng's speed, traveling day and night, they could reach their destination in about 3 days. The master and disciple didn't dawdle, hurrying along the small path. The Windwolf Town Lord had given them 10 days for the round trip to deliver and return with news. If they were late, Wang Yangfeng would face punishment. Moving quickly also meant more time to linger in Jiali City. As they traveled, Wang Yangfeng tested Tang San. What's used for trade in big cities? Tang San answered promptly. In villages and towns, trade is mostly bartering. In big cities, or across the continent, currency made from rare minerals or plants is used. The Tianyu Empire primarily uses mineral-based coins, while the Richen Empire favors plant-based ones. These coins contain energy that users can absorb to strengthen their bloodlines, making them impossible to counterfeit. The coins themselves hold value. Good, you remember well, Wang Yangfeng nodded. What's the structure of the Tianyu Empire's currency system? Tang San replied, the Tianyu Empire has 5 currency tiers. The highest is the purple gold coin, made from a special purple gold metal. It contains immense energy, usable even by great demons and spirits for cultivation. Purple gold coins are rare, rarely circulating, and hold more symbolic value. 1 purple gold coin equals about 100 Tianyu coins. Tianyu coins are crafted from 6 rare minerals, each with water, fire, earth, wind, light, or darkness attributes. Combining them is a complex process, and their energy greatly aids bloodline activation and enhancement. 1 Tianyu coin equals 10 element coins, made from the same 6 attribute minerals but of lower quality. These are the main high-value currency in circulation, with strong purchasing power. Below element coins are Lingxi coins, made from Lingxi ore. 1 element coin equals about 100 Lingxi coins. The lowest tier, demon coins, vary widely and are distinguished by energy strength. Minerals containing at least 1% of a first-tier monster tribe bloodline's power qualify as demon coins. Their variety makes exchange rates with Lingxi coins complex, so big cities prefer Lingxi coins for trade. Wang Yangfeng nodded approvingly. You've got it down. Windwolf Town's main income comes from a wind spirit mine nearby. A fist-sized wind spirit stone, about a kilogram, is worth roughly 1/5 of a Lingxi coin. Though not highly valuable, it's decent. Most of the stones mined annually are sent to the Windwolf clan leader. Strong slaves work the mine. Tang San was familiar with wind spirit stones, the grayish cyan stones used in Wang Yangfeng's wind array. They contained many impurities but purely wind element energy. Wang Yangfeng sighed. The tribute list we're delivering includes 5,000 kilograms of wind spirit stones, over 2/3 of the town's output. It's similar every year. Is the Windwolf clan leader powerful? Tang San asked. To us, very much so, Wang Yangfeng replied. The leader ranks among the top 10 in the Wolf Demon clan, not at the forefront but still formidable, reportedly above the 10th tier. In the monster tribe, a leader's strength often determines a clan's survival. Survival of the fittest, Tang San said softly. Exactly, that's how this world works. The path to the main road was desolate, with no monsters encountered. After a day, they reached the main road to Jiali City. The road was vast, 50 meters wide and smooth, unlike anything Tang San had seen in this world. Its base was compacted gravel, flanked by lush, forested hills. Once on the main road, they saw various clans. Slaves were rare, but the variety of monsters fascinated Tang San. In Wind Wolf Town, he mostly saw wolf demons, with big demons as weaker vassals. On this road, within half a day, he saw over 10 monster types. One left a deep impression. These were towering, robust monsters, moving on all fours but standing over 8 meters tall when upright, resembling humans. Their 5-meter-long trunks swayed, heads covered in thick keratin, with pale purple eyes exuding intense pressure. Wang Yangfeng held his breath until they passed, then explained. These were elephant demons, a single lineage clan far less numerous than wolf demons but ranking in the monster tribe's top 10. Newborn elephant demons were 3rd tier, and adults were above 7th tier. The one they saw was an average adult. Their strength was judged not just by size but by eye color. Pale purple for ordinary ones, deep purple for 8th tier, red for 9th tier, and gold for 10th tier and above, known as golden war elephants with immense combat power. Though only 7th tier, this elephant demon's intense vitality and robust frame hinted at its formidable strength. Seeing such a powerful monster, Tang San understood why monsters dominated this world. Their innate gifts left little competition. In his view, monsters were beasts that gained sentience. The fairy continent also had non-sentient demon beasts, controlled or enslaved by monsters. Some demon beasts, related by bloodline, served as vassals, with higher status than human vassals, as they were more useful to monsters. Led by Wang Yangfeng, they traveled along the road's edge. Human vassals weren't allowed in the center, where being trampled by monsters was their fault, with no recourse. After another day and a half of hurried travel, camping outdoors, they reached their destination. Chapter 28, Ghost. From afar, Tang San saw a massive city gate tower, towering 100 meters high, an imposing sight with no exaggeration. The city walls were flanked by 2 great mountains, serving as natural fortifications. Wang Yangfeng had taught him that Jiali City was a basin city, surrounded by mountains that acted as its best defense, with walls only at the northern and southern entrances. The gate was wide open, unguarded, allowing free entry. Wang Yangfeng didn't immediately lead Tang San inside. Instead, he held him back, waiting until no monsters were entering or exiting before quickly guiding him through. As Tang San stepped through the gate, he felt as if he'd entered another world. Wind Wolf Town, in the northeast of the fairy continent, was cold most of the year. Jiali City, however, was warm and spring-like, with humid air and spiritual energy far denser than outside. Tang San felt refreshed and invigorated. The city streets were paved with stone slabs, solid and smooth. Tall buildings of wood and stone lined the roads. The variety of monsters was dazzling, and Tang San mentally matched them to the clans Wang Yangfeng had described. Despite his disdain for the monster tribe, he couldn't help but feel awestruck. Don't stare, Wang Yangfeng said, blocking his view and whispering, what did I tell you? Yes, Tang San lowered his head. He wasn't just gawking, his heart was filled with shock. The monster tribe was incredibly powerful, surpassing even the strongest soul beasts of his original world at their peak. Jiali City was just one of the monster tribe's main cities, yet every monster he saw exuded strength. Each clan had unique traits, and even ordinary monsters were formidable. Humans, lacking innate talents, were far outmatched. Tang San sighed inwardly. For humans to challenge the monster tribe in this world was a monumental task. Fundamental change was needed. Humans required their own cultivation talents. Even then, it would be difficult, given the monster and spirit tribe's iron grip on the continent. Awakened humans would likely be suppressed immediately. Moreover, was demon god transformation the path for humans? Absolutely not. It stemmed from humans inheriting faint monster bloodlines through oppression. Such hybrids were still far weaker than true powerful monsters. For humans to rise, they needed their own talents and space to grow. A plan to change humanity's fate began forming in Tang San's mind. Let's find a place to stay. We'll be here for about 3 days. After completing the task, I'll take you around. Wang Yangfeng's voice pulled Tang San from his thoughts. Okay, teacher, Tang San replied meekly. They kept to the edges of the streets. Wang Yangfeng, familiar with Jiali City, soon found a place to stay, a modest inn run by a human vassal. The innkeeper, a woman about Wang Yangfeng's age, greeted him with a joyful embrace. You're here. Wang Yangfeng hugged her back, eyes shining. I'm on a task and will stay a few days. Tang San, come here. He released her and pulled Tang San forward. This is my disciple from last year, Tang San. Tang San, this is my sister, Gui Gui. You can call her Aunt Wei. So, she was his sister. Tang San felt relieved for his teacher's wife. Hello, Aunt Wei, he said, noting her odd name. Gui Gui looked at Tang San, surprised, and said to Wang Yangfeng, awakened so young. It's been a while since I've seen a child awaken at this age. But can he pass the... She trailed off, her face showing pity. Wang Yangfeng coughed. Let's get settled first. He wasn't worried about Tang San passing the test. If Tang San couldn't, no one could. He couldn't exactly tell Gui Gui that Tang San was teaching him wind blade control. The inn was simple, with nearly 20 small rooms, each about 10 square meters with 2 beds. Though plain, it was quiet and cheap. Wang Yangfeng told Tang San to rest, then left with Gui Gui to catch up. The room had a window, but the inn's remote location offered only a view of a nearby high wall. Tang San noticed other guests, mostly human vassals. The bed sizes suggested the inn catered specifically to them, likely a rare haven for humans in Jiali City. It had no name or sign, with a small plot of vegetables out front. Though simple, it felt like a sanctuary, separated from the vast city. An hour later, as night fell, Wang Yangfeng returned to take Tang San for dinner. The meal was hearty, with meat, but the taste was mediocre. In this world, Tang San hadn't eaten anything delicious. Even the wolf demons in Wind Wolf Town ate similar food, just in larger quantities. This world's cuisine seemed far inferior to his original world's. Gui Gui joined them for dinner. During the meal, she asked Wang Yangfeng, are you taking him with you tomorrow? Wang Yangfeng turned to Tang San. Tomorrow, I'm going to the Wind Wolf clan's ancestral house in Jiali City to deliver the list. Want to come? It's not dangerous, but you'll need to be cautious. Any wolf demon there is stronger than our town's lord. I'll go with you, Tang San said without hesitation. His mysterious heaven technique and wind blade progress depended on absorbing from wolf demons. If he could safely siphon higher tier bloodline power, assuming his body could handle it, it would greatly aid his cultivation and breakthrough. Good, Wang Yangfeng nodded. Gui Gui gave him an odd look. To her, Tang San was just a 9-year-old, yet Wang Yangfeng treated him as an equal, which puzzled her. She turned to Tang San. Little Tang, what's your wind wolf transformation level? At her question, Tang San looked to Wang Yangfeng. Chapter 29, Meigongzi Milk Tea Shop. Wang Yangfeng coughed and said, he's doing well. I think he has a good chance of passing the assessment. Oh, his awakening was that effective. Gui Gui's eyes lit up. No wonder you brought him along, but you need to keep him in check. Those monsters never show us any kindness, so don't let him cause trouble. Don't worry, Tang San is quite steady, Wang Yangfeng said with a smile. He no longer saw Tang San as a child. In their interactions, Tang San's speech and emotions carried a maturity that made him seem like the eldest among the students. Gui Gui grew more puzzled. You seem very confident in him. After finishing the task, are you planning to explore the city? Wang Yangfeng nodded. Bringing him here is also to let him see the world. Gui Gui said, good. Jiali City has been peaceful lately, with no conflicts. You've come at a good time. Tang San couldn't help but ask, Aunt Wei, are there conflicts in the city? Of course, Gui Gui replied. Many monster clans don't get along, especially those of similar strength. They often fight over rankings, as rankings determine resource allocation. Our Wind Wolf clan and the Flash Leopard clan are enemies, frequently clashing, and we usually come out worse. So, don't reveal your demon god transformation easily. You never know when you'll encounter a clan hostile to ours. They won't show mercy to vassals like as if a vassal dies. The Wind Wolf clan won't bat an eye. Hiding our demon god transformation is a survival rule for human vassals. Understand? Flash Leopard clan, Leopard Flash. Tang San's heart stirred. Aunt Wei, is the Flash Leopard clan in Jiali City too? Yes, their ancestral house is here, she said. Is one of the 7 main cities, Jiali City hosts the ancestral houses of 7 major clans. Though the Wind Wolf and Flash Leopard clans are just branches of the Wolf and Leopard demons, they have a place here. The main clans, ancestral houses are in Holy Spirit City, but only the top 10 clans can have theirs in the core area, others are in the outer regions. Tang San committed her words to memory. Living in Jiali City, Wei Wei seemed to know even more than Wang Yangfeng. Have you been to Holy Spirit City, Aunt Wei? Tang San asked curiously. She shook her head. No, just heard about it. It's not a place for ordinary vassals. The strongest of both monster and spirit tribes are there. A sneeze from a great demon could kill us. They say it's a city so vast you can't see its edges. After dinner, Wang Yangfeng and Tang San rested early. Sitting cross-legged on his bed, Tang San felt the spiritual energy here was absorbed faster than in Windwolf Town. Jiali City's spiritual energy was dense, though he noticed it varied by location. Therein was in a thinner area. The night passed quietly. The next morning, after breakfast, Wang Yangfeng and Tang San left the inn for the Windwolf clan's ancestral house. Located in Jiali City's core, the basin city was vast. Unable to run in the streets, it took them over 2 hours to reach their destination. From afar, Tang San spotted the ancestral house, marked by a massive cyan wolf head over 3 meters wide atop the high gate, emitting faint grayish cyan light. The surrounding air grew dense with wind elements, subtly repelling those nearing the gate. It was a single wind spirit stone, 3 meters in diameter, immensely heavy. The walls stretched over 100 meters, 10 meters high, concealing everything inside. As they approached, an invisible pressure made breathing difficult. Wang Yangfeng led Tang San along the wall. Near the gate, 4 wolf demons, over 2 meters tall and around 4th tier, blocked their path. Wang Yangfeng immediately activated his wind wolf transformation, his body swelling and eyes glowing cyan to show his vassal status. What's your business? A wolf demon asked coldly. We're from Windwolf Town, here to deliver this year's tribute list to the clan leader. Please inform him, Wang Yangfeng said quickly. Hearing it was about the tribute list, the wolf demon's expression softened. Follow me, he led the way inside. As Tang San prepared to follow, a large hand stopped him. You stay out, kid. What's a brat doing inside? Courting death. Wait here. Tang San looked at Wang Yangfeng, who was caught off guard. Clearly, Tang San's young age made the wolf demons dismissive. Tang San, wait outside. Go over there, Wang Yangfeng said, gesturing toward a large open area. In front of the Windwolf ancestral house was a small plaza with a massive ancient tree at its center, its trunk requiring over a dozen people to encircle, casting a wide shade. Wang Yangfeng had mentioned that this core area housed the ancestral houses of several major clans. He signaled Tang San to wait by the tree, avoiding scrutiny from the wolf demons and potential trouble if they grew annoyed. Tang San obediently agreed and walked away. The wolf demons paid him little mind, and the leader took Wang Yangfeng inside. Tang San felt a bit bored. He hoped to enter the ancestral house to sense the energy of higher tier wolf demons and scout the layout for future bloodline absorption. But he wasn't even allowed inside. He walked to the tree, its vast canopy making the air fresher. In this core district, few monsters passed by, with other ancestral houses visible in the distance. To avoid the wolf demon's attention, Tang San moved to the tree's far side, sat down, and waited. Just as he settled, he noticed a small shop by the roadside. A shop here. It had a front shop and a back courtyard, likely for living. The sign read, Mei Gongzi Milk Tea Shop. Chapter 30. I'm not Xiao Wu. I'm Mei Gongzi. Tang San and Xiao Wu reunite on the fairy continent. Selling milk tea. What's milk tea? In Tang San's previous world, such a thing didn't exist, and he hadn't encountered it in this world either. It seemed to be some kind of drink. Though few monsters passed by this area, the milk tea shop was doing decent business. Monsters frequently entered to buy a cup, and the cups looked quite large. Tang San focused his vision, a flash of purple light crossing his eyes as he activated his purple demon eyes to peer into the shop. His face showed surprise. The shop was run by 2 women, human women. The older one, around 30, was strikingly beautiful with black hair and eyes, always wearing a faint smile and gentle gaze that made her approachable. She was the most beautiful woman Tang San had seen in this world. Beside her was a younger girl, about 16 or 17, with delicate features bustling about to help. Human vassals running a shop in the heart of Jiali City, and the monsters buying milk tea showed no disdain, simply purchasing and leaving, likely using low-tier demon coins. The milk tea seemed affordable, with some monsters buying multiple cups. Called Mei Gongzi Milk Tea Shop was the older woman Mei Gongzi. The name was fitting and apt. Tang San patted his pockets, finding some demon coins made from wind spirit stones that Wang Yangfeng had given him. An impulse surged, he wanted to try the milk tea. The human shopkeepers gave him a sense of affinity. Since arriving in Jiali City, his nerves had been on edge. Seeing this shop, he couldn't help but wonder about the taste of milk tea. Glancing around, no monsters were nearby, and the shop was momentarily free of customers. Tang San took a deep breath, pulled out a wind spirit stone demon coin, and quickened his pace toward the shop. This was his first time preparing to use this world's currency. As he neared, a faint aroma of milk and tea wafted from the shop, making him swallow hard. Just 10 meters from the shop, he could see the 2 women working inside more clearly. At that moment, another figure emerged from the back, approaching the beautiful woman with a smile, saying something. Tang San's steps halted. His entire body froze. In that instant, it felt as if every pore in his body opened, his eyes wide with shock. The world around him seemed to fade away. In his eyes and heart, there was only that smiling figure. The person who emerged looked about 12 or 13, petite and well-proportioned, with neat black hair cascading down her back. Her face was delicate, her features exquisite. She perfectly inherited the older woman's beauty, with an added touch of liveliness and mischief. Her large black eyes blinked, long lashes trembling slightly. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? In that moment, nothing else mattered. Only this figure filled his vision. Though her appearance and even her aura differed, the imprint etched deep in his divine consciousness unmistakably recognized her. Tang San never imagined he'd find her so easily. In that instant, all his resentment toward this harsh world vanished, replaced by gratitude. His heart trembled, his body unable to move. Yes, it was her, his Xiao Wu. Memories of his past life flooded his mind. This was a bond across lifetimes, the sole pursuit of his heart. He stood 10 meters from the shop, and the 3 inside naturally noticed him. The beautiful woman looked at Tang San's dazed expression with surprise. The young girl beside her noticed too, frowning slightly. The woman said something to the girl, gesturing toward Tang San. The girl nodded and disappeared from his view. Tang San instinctively took a step forward, opening his mouth, nearly calling out, "Don't go." With her disappearance, a hollow feeling gripped his heart. "Hey, here's your drink." A pleasant voice sounded by his ear. Tang San slowly turned his head, his trembling body shaking harder. There she was, the familiar yet unfamiliar figure who haunted his dreams, standing before him. She held out a cup, its faint milk and tea aroma wafting toward him. The black-haired girl frowned at his dazed look. She shoved the milk tea into his hands, saying impatiently, "Stop staring and go." They were so close. Tang San's voice quivered. Xiao Wu." The girl paused, then glanced back at the shop. The woman waved, calling, "Xiao Mei, come back." "Okay, Mom," the girl replied, turning to leave. Tang San, clutching the warm milk tea, instinctively stepped forward. The girl turned back, saying, "You've got the wrong person. I'm not Xiao Wu, everyone calls me Mei Gongzi." Gripping the milk tea, Tang San opened his mouth, but his throat was so tight he couldn't speak. 9 years in this world, he'd seen the suffering of humans, lost his mother, faced constant danger from the monster tribe, and found warmth with Wang Yangfeng's family. All these had stirred his heart, but never had he been this overwhelmed. Across 3 lifetimes, he'd experienced so much. Seeing his beloved again after 9 years of longing and worry, his emotions broke free. Tears streamed down his face. In his mind, memories of their past life together surfaced, her radiant smile. 2 figures, different in appearance, slowly merged in his mind.